If a bull bar or a regular grille guard just isn't quite enough for your truck, then you're going to like this HD replacement front bumper. This one goes beyond just a new bumper or even a grille guard and gives you the best of both worlds in a heavy-duty package that's going to work hard and make a big statement for your 2019 and newer Ram 2500 or 3500. Unlike a lot of other bumpers or even grille guards, this setup takes the best of both worlds and combines them into one, frankly, gigantic statement piece for the front end of your truck. The HD in the name is no mistake either. You get a traditional type of grille guard up top here with mesh covering the factory grille and crossbars in front of that for additional protection. Plus, you've got these big uprights and headlight covers as well, so everything up top is protected. But underneath all that is this big diamond plate steel bumper, and it integrates with a big wide crossbeam all the way across the front end. This thing is absolutely massive, and it covers the entire front end of your truck. So safe to say, this is going to give it a lot of additional front end protection to go along with the aggressive good looks. But there's more here than meets the eye. This does have provisions for your front parking sensors if your truck came so equipped, and fog lights as well, so you can keep those intact with no loss of function. You can also keep your original tow hooks as well with no need for modification to have them fitted. And in case you need to do some additional hauling or some other type of difficult work, there's a 2-inch receiver right here front and center, so you can add additional racks or be able to pull from the front of the truck very easily. And there's even a removable panel right here in the center in case your truck has a forward-facing camera, so you can keep that function intact as well. Construction here is all stainless steel, which has been e-coated and then powder-coated gloss black, as you can see before you, for a clean look and additional protection against rust and corrosion. You've got diamond plate steel down here on the bottom for the bumper, and this is all one piece. Exactly as you see it here is how we took it out of the box. So the fact that this is fully welded means that it will 100% be able to handle anything that you could throw its way. Pricing comes in at about $2,300, and that does make it a bit more expensive as compared to other bumpers or grille guards. However, as far as setups that include both, this is a really good value. And for the protection it can provide, you really can't go wrong here. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and you should plan on the job taking you around 2 hours to complete. Now, everything you need is included in the box, even the wire harness adapters you'll need for the parking sensors and the camera. This is a totally bolt-on bumper as well, so you don't need to make any permanent modifications to your truck. However, as we were talking about in the construction portion of the video, this is one piece, and obviously it is pretty darn big and very heavy. So absolutely plan on getting a friend or two to help you get this into place. It's going to make your life so much easier, and it'll make the job a whole lot more safe. That said though, we're going to head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the installation process step by step.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, a swivel adapter, 3/8 a half-inch adapter if necessary, 10, 18, 19, 24 deep and shallow sockets, 10 and 18 millimeter wrenches. Also not shown here is an extra set of hands and some sort of jack and jack stands to help support your bumper. Today we're going to be doing a bumper on our Ram, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory bumper, and we'll see you when you get back.
Alrighty guys, so now we've got our truck up in the air because we need to remove our front bumper in order to install our fog lights. So it's best to do this from underneath. Now we're going to be popping out some push clips and removing some bolts. We'll show you where everything is, but it's definitely the best idea to remove your bumper first, so we'll get after it now. Alright guys, so first we're going to remove the push clips holding our little lower shroud to our bumper. You don't need to remove the whole thing. There's just about 5 of these clips holding it onto the bumper itself. So we've got a clip removal tool. I'm going to get up in here. And these might be a little bit of a pain to get to at first. Just want to make sure they're loose. This thing will kind of fall back down like so. Now the rest of the bumper to get off is pretty easy. We just have 2 bolts right here on each side for our frame horns. So we're gonna grab our 18 millimeter socket on our impact and an 18 millimeter wrench, and we're gonna remove the nuts. We're gonna leave the bolts loosely in place. Once we grab an extra set of hands, we'll pull this off. Now you can remove one from each side completely. Get this other one off. Now leave that bolt in. Then we'll do the same thing for the other side. All right guys, so now we have an extra set of hands to help us get this off, and we've got our table in place. We're gonna lay our bumper down on it. We do have some microfibers down because you don't wanna scratch chrome. We'll remove those last 2 bolts and put it on the table. Alrighty guys, so now that we have the bumper off, we're gonna need to remove these inner brace brackets so we can access our openings for where our fog lights are gonna mount. So they're held on by various 13mm bolts, as well as one of these push clips. So we've got a 13mm socket, a 13mm ratchet wrench, and a clip removal tool. We'll get these out so we can access these cover panels. So now we're gonna remove our push clip first with our clip removal tool. So we'll get that out. Then we can remove our top bolts with our 13mm socket on our impact. And once we have all those out, we can move around to our side bolts with our 13mm ratchet wrench. So once you get this to a certain point, you'll be able to turn it out by hand. And this last one over here is a little easier to get to. Now once we have all of our hardware out, we can work this out of position. It's gonna be a little bit weird getting it out, but it will come out. Once you pop that edge, kind of work this tab up, slide that out and set it aside. Now these factory covers are held in by some T-nuts with 8mm nuts. So we'll get our 8mm wrench. And you just need to loosen these up a little bit, to be honest. They'll pop right out like so. We're gonna save these because we're gonna reuse them to mount our new front fascia. So we have those out. Push this down and out. Now once you have this side completely disassembled, you can repeat the same process for the other side.
Welcome back. Now that we have our factory bumper off, we're gonna need to do one more additional thing to make room for our new bumper brackets. That is gonna be to take these lower frame extensions off. Now we're gonna hang on to that hardware because we will be reusing it. So we've got a 24mm socket on my impact and a 24mm socket on my ratchet, and we'll get those off real quick. First one out. And we'll support our frame extension. Pull that out and we can set this aside. Again, hang on to your factory hardware. Once you got this side off, you can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so our first step for installing our new setup is going to be to install our frame mounting brackets for our new bumper. Now, you have 2 of these. They're both the same. Doesn't matter whether you use them on the driver or passenger side. The only thing we want to make sure to do is put them on the outside of the frame, no matter which side you are installing. What we're going to do is get this lined up here. We're going to take our factory 24mm bolts, get those right back in place. Then we're going to reinstall our 24mm nuts. We're not going to tighten them down just yet. And we're also going to reinstall our 2 18mm bolts that held our factory bumper on up here. So we'll get our nuts right back on our 24s. And we'll grab our 2 18mm bolts and put those right back in. Now we've got our 18mm bolts. Get those right back in through here. And we're going to reinstall our 18mm nuts onto those bolts. Now once you've got this side loosely in place, you can do the same thing for the other side. Alrighty guys, so our new bumper does come with a few options, whether you have factory fog lights that you want to transfer over to your new bumper, or if you have the round aftermarket ones, they also have a section that will fit in here for those. However, we do not have fog lights at all, so we're going to put in the blockout panels for these. Again, you just need to choose which ones you have. They come with the factory fog light cutouts in them, so you just will need to mount your factory fogs to that. Again, we're going to just install our block panels. So we need a 10mm socket and a 10mm wrench to remove this one, and then we're going to reuse this hardware and install our blockout panels. Now we'll remove all 3 of our 10mm bolts and nuts. You've got one over here, one inside, and one at the bottom. Might need to gather your hardware after it comes out. We'll do the same thing for the other 2. And we can remove this panel. Now we're going to grab our selected panel, line that back up with our mounts, and we'll reinstall that hardware we just took out. We'll do the same thing for the other 2 mounts. Now once we have them all in, we'll bring back our 10mm socket and wrench and tighten these down. And once you got this side done, you can do the same thing for the other side. Alrighty guys, so now we have our bumper in position and lined up with our mounts that we put on our frame horns. I do have an extra set of hands, and we have our bumper on a table jack. You're definitely going to need a floor jack, jack stands, and an extra set of hands for this. It's extremely heavy. So we've got it lined up, and I'm going to get our provided hardware in place for all 4 spots on each side. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, we've got our hardware loosely in place on our brackets. Got our bolts coming in from the front of the bumper to the rear. Got our flat washers and 19mm lock nuts in place. The first thing we're going to do now is tighten down our factory hardware holding our mount. So we've got our 24mm socket on our impact and 24mm socket on our ratchet. And we'll tighten these bottom ones first. Now we're going to tighten down our 2 18mm bolts with our 18mm socket and 18mm wrench. So now we can tighten down our bumper mounting bolts. So we'll need our 18mm wrench for our bolt heads and our 19mm socket and swivel adapter for our nuts. And once you got these first couple tight, you can do the same thing for the rest of your hardware. And once you got this side done, you can do the same thing for the other side. Alright guys, so now that we have everything tightened up underneath, the last thing we'll need to do is install our provided parking sensor hole caps, since we do not have factory parking sensors. If you do, you will need to swap your sensors and harness over, and we do not, so we're just going to install our caps. And they're just going to pop right in, like so. Once you got your first couple in, you want to do the same thing for the rest of them. Now, one other thing your kit comes with, if you want to or need to mount a tag on your front bumper, we've got these square inserts. They're going to go right here. And you can mount your tag using whatever screws you already have, going right through these. So that about wraps up our review and install of our HD replacement front bumper for your 19 to 24 Ram 2500. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.